Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks to one and all for joining us over here today. Before we start the video, I want to wish everyone, all my friends, Ramadan Kareem and Happy Gudi Padwa as well today. Also for me, we are moving into Easter as well, coming to the end of Lent. So before Easter, we usually go ahead, clean the house, make everything neat and clean for the celebration. So I'm going to go by cleaning and maintaining all my tanks today. So this video is going to be especially about my tank maintenance, how I do the maintenance on all my tanks. And this video is especially also for those of you, my friends, who have been asking me, how do I do the maintenance on my tanks? How do I take out the time to keep all of it clean? Especially friends at work who want to get an aquarium, but they are so nervous because they think they might not be able to have the time to do all the cleaning. But I assure you, it doesn't take much time. It's just minimal time. Of course, I have 8 tanks, so it takes me a little bit more time. But if you get one aquarium and 30 minutes every week, just be consistent, do some water change, trimming, and that's it. You don't have to do much, a little bit of scrubbing here and there. So let's start this video, and I'll show you first my 45 centimeter tank. And then today's video, we are going to be doing maintenance on the 60 centimeter and the 230 centimeter cubes that I have over here. So first, let me start by telling you what are the tools and equipments that I use over here. So I have my tool set. This is basically a pair of scissors, pair of tweezers. I have a small net to pick out dead leaves. This is a scraper tool, basically to level out the sand. Then over here, I have a magnetic scrubber. This is a small one because all my tanks are small. So you usually put one side in and one side out, and then you scrub the glass surface. Makes it very easy. I have some toothbrush that I use to scrape off algae and other debris that's stuck on the wood or maybe on the rocks. Over here then I have one sprayer that I use basically to keep my plants moist when they're out of the water. I use a mug to fill it, and then I use this DIY cut bottle piece which I have drilled holes in, and I use it to fill the water in the aquariums. And then apart from that, for siphoning and basically getting the water out, I use this very simple hand pump. You're supposed to squeeze it at one end and it will draw in the water and straight into the bucket. So these are some of the tools that I use. And for today's video, in this 60 centimeter tank, we have this moss that has been growing really wild. And what I noticed very recently is there is a lot of debris being collected inside it. So I want to get this moss out. I want to give it a nice rinse, and then we'll put it back. So over here at the back, if you see, I planted some of the Rotala macranda, which is over here. It's a beautiful plant. It's growing well now. It's been around 2 weeks, but it's not getting enough light because this moss that's on top had been blocking the light for it. So that's one of the reasons I want to get it out and then rearrange it over there. So let's start by first taking this moss out, giving it a rinse, and then putting it back in. Then we'll do some scrubbing of the glass, getting the water out, do our water changes. I have a bucket full of water over here, which I've already stored and kept. I have dechlorinated it. So we'll use this water to refill our tanks. So let's get started. Alright guys, so first I want to talk about my 45 centimeter tank. At the moment, this is the tank that is most affected with algae. I especially have a lot of green spot algae. Let me show you quickly. So as you look over there on the Anubias, there's a lot of algae, green spot algae, even on the Bucephalandra over there. And my moss, the Christmas moss, has so much of hair algae, and I'm not sure if this is blackbeard algae or what it is, but it looks really ugly. So that's focusing. And even on my AR mini, the ones that I planted over here, they have a lot of green spot algae. So for this tank in particular, there is a lot of replanting, trimming, and things, scraping, scrubbing, a lot of things that I need to do. So I'm going to need a full proper day to do it on this tank, which I'll keep for the next weekend. So this weekend I'm not going to touch this tank, but I'll show you the hair algae that I'm talking about. If you see over here, there's lots and lots of hair algae growing in the Christmas moss. That's because it's very close to the light. Moss grows very slowly, and that's the reason I'm having this much algae in the tank. I want to show you quickly how we can get rid of this kind of algae. So I have toothbrushes that I use. This is a soft one, so I use this on plants. And this is a hard bristle, so I use this more on hardscape. Alright, so let me just quickly show you how to use the toothbrush and get it out there. So all you need to do is dig your toothbrush in, pull it out. Dig it in, pull it out. And there you see, I have all the algae collected on the toothbrush. It's that easy and simple. So if you have hair algae, just use the toothbrush, guys. No need to panic. I used to panic a lot before with algae, but it's so simple. Just get a toothbrush and start scraping and you'll have all of it out. So I need to do a lot of this in the tank, and I need to trim a lot of Christmas moss over here, which is growing crazy. And even this ferns that I have in between, they are having a lot of algae issues. So I'm not sure, I need to plan a whole maintenance on this tank. But for today, we'll do a 60 centimeter maintenance on this one and those 30 centimeter cubes over there. So first, as I said, let's start by taking out our moss. Last time I did sell a lot of this moss and it got sold out quickly because it's rare over here. Many people don't have it. So as you can see, the aquarium, this is how the driftwood is all inside. It looks beautiful, but because it's covered with the moss, you don't notice it very usually. So now all the moss is in the bucket. I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. Alright, so we leave the moss over here to rest. Meanwhile, now we have a lot of space to work over here and clean the tank. Also, the bits and pieces of roots that are stuck over here, I want to get them out so they don't decay. Clean the tank nicely. I just want to scrub it using the scraper. So we'll do that now. I have my scrubber over here. So I'm just going to put the magnetic side inside. And that's it. And now you can just easily clean your tank glass. It doesn't take much time. And it does a good job, by the way. Even it's a small one, it does a really good job. So I just finished cleaning this glass and then I'll show you the next step. So the glass is clean now. The next thing I want to do is start scrubbing the wood and make sure I get all this debris out that is stuck inside over here. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to use our scissors, and as you can see, this leaf over here, this leaf, some of them, they are having a lot of algae on it, hair algae. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off those leaves, and there are some leaves which are having holes in it over here. So these leaves also we need to trim them. What happens is when you have leaves that are damaged and have holes or algae on it, the plant spends a lot of energy in regenerating those leaves, and that's why they don't grow well. So when you get rid of them, the plant can then focus more on growing new leaves and grow well. Let's get them trimmed. Using my siphon. So this part of the siphon goes in the tank, and then here you have the pump which is in the bucket or whatever you're going to use, and just supposed to squeeze it. And then we have the water is coming out now over here, and now easily I can siphon all the areas. As you can see, all the dirt is being picked up in the siphon. Alright, so almost half of the tank is drained out, just a little bit more, and then we'll stop. And then the last thing is I just want to clean the glass a little bit more, and we'll fill it back with water, and we'll be done with this tank. So usually when I get the siphon out, I keep my hand in and then I pull it out. Otherwise all the dirt that's stuck in over here again falls down in the tank. So we have come to the last step almost. We'll fill the water, and then the last thing I need to do is put the moss back over here. So as I told you, this is a DIY cut piece of bottle that has holes in it. I usually use this when I'm filling water because I don't want the water force directly to hit the ground. It will disturb the entire soil, and maybe it will damage some of the plants. It will press them down. So I don't want that to happen. I'm going to use this so it disperses the pressure of water. So we are done with our 60 centimeter tank. This tank took a little bit time to clean and tidy everything because of the amount of plants that are there in this. Also the size of the tank is larger compared to these two. So we should finish with these two very soon. First of all, I want to put the skimmer on this so that I can get rid of this oily surface. Once the oily surface is out, then we'll do some scrubbing on these rocks, these small places where we have algae. We will just scrub the glass. empty the tank, fill it up, and that will be it for this one. I've already cleaned out the accessories. I just pulled them out. I scrubbed them because they had algae growing on top of the plastic. Now the next thing, I have my scrubber already. Just need to clean this glass. And over here, if you see closely, we have some hair algae over there, black beard algae, sorry. So that's something we need to take out. So let's take care of that. I'll use a toothbrush and then we'll get rid of that. So first let me scrape off the glass. So just need to carefully scrape it out. Black beard algae is very stubborn, so even though I'm using a hard brush, it's still not detaching from the rock over here. So we tried removing it with the toothbrush, but it's not coming out. So I'm using my tweezers. As you can see here, we have got one out. So it's coming out with the tweezers. I'll continue removing with the tweezers. So now it's coming out. So I'll get rid of all of this and then we'll just siphon out all the water of that. As you can see, most of the black beard algae that was here, we've taken it out. I think that's more than enough. A little bit here and there is fine, but most of it that was visible, we have got it out. So the water is all murky now with all the disturbance. I'm just going to siphon out all the water and fill it back in with fresh water. So last we have a better tank, and for this tank I just need to clean the glass and drain the water, refill water, just do a water change. That's all I need to do over here because the tank is clean. I don't see any issues with the tank. Beta is wondering what is this thing over here. He's trying to investigate what's happening. Anyways, so let's start with cleaning the glass. So again, same process, and that's what I do for all my tanks. Just clean the glass very quick. And once you're done with clean the glass, we'll just siphon out half of the water, or this tank at least maybe 30% of the water, and refill it. That will be it. The sand, you need to be sure you don't push the siphon too close to the sand, or else it will suck out all the sand of your tank. So I just try to keep it at a safe distance from the sand, so all the light particles, the dead leaves and things like that get siphoned out.